viewers, greetings and welcome to this episode of Leadership Matters, a video series highlighting the stories and experiences of global leaders and providing leadership advice. The series is hosted by Avinash Ananda, a recognized leadership advisor, happiness strategist, and a motivational keynote speaker. Over the course of more than 30 years, Avinash has personally mentored more than 1,000 leaders and trainers and trained more than 1 million individuals from all walks of life in 30 countries. Our special guest for today's episode is Mr. Naim Maadad. Naim is the founder of Gates Hospitality, a homegrown hospitality group based in UAE with award-winning concepts. Naim has almost 30 years of experience in the hospitality industry in Australia, Asia, and the Middle East. Naim serves on the board of numerous hospitality companies, including the Middle East Food Forum, UAE Restaurants Group, Almond Global, Australian Business Council, and others in addition to his day-to-day responsibilities. He currently serves as the team leader for 700 colleagues across Gates Hospitality and is regarded as one of the industry's most well-known spokespersons and a godfather figure who has helped many up-and-coming stars launch their careers.
Welcome, viewers, to yet another episode of Leadership Matters. And if you've been following these episodes, you'd have seen very, very interesting people with whom I have these conversations. I just had a 3-minute chat with Naim before we began, and I was blown away. Yeah? And that's not easy for me. But why don't you get blown away yourself? Huh? Let's meet Naim. Naim, what? How do I pronounce your last name? Naim Maadad. Maadad.
Maadad.
Maadad?
Yes. Close enough. I'll let you off.
No, I want to get it right. Tell me, Maadad.
Naim Maadad.
Naim Maadad. Okay, got it. Huh? You know, Naim, you mentioned that you were you're a senior holder of a title, a leadership place in an Australian, something connected with Australia and in UAE. What was that?
Sure. So I'm the chairperson of the Australian Business Council in Dubai. And
that's fantastic.
Based on my heritage, happy to be serving the country and making sure that we have the ties between the UAE and Australia and vice versa.
Well, that's fantastic. An Australian friend of mine yesterday asked me, so who are you going to be speaking with? So I said, I'm going to be speaking with a very interesting leader from UAE. I didn't know you were Australian. Huh? So he said, what's his name? Huh? So I said, Naim. Huh? He said, no, what's his name? Huh? So I...
Welcome to my world, Avinash. Look, I grew up with this. I was given the name from pre-birth, of course, and at school I was often teased with the same. What's your name? But my philosophy on that: if people are still in that kind of cloud and haven't really taken on the global perspective of life, that's their loss.
Absolutely. And you seem to be doing that extremely well. So this is the business council to improve relations between the UAE and Australia. What else? I heard there's something to do with South Africa too. You represent several countries.
So with the African continent, I sit on the board of an organization called SWA, which is the Wellness Association. Again, my background entails deep and a long service on the hospitality, wellness, and spa services. So part of my contribution, and I see it as my CSR, Avinash, is to give back to individuals to try and assist individuals enter the hospitality sector. And again, the hospitality sector has so many wide angles and disciplines. Sure. It's not only a hotel or the food and beverage, but there are multiple disciplines, and really it entails a career rather than a job.
Well, that's fantastic. Tell me something, Naim. When I spoke about getting blown away by this gentleman, it was mainly because of the line. You know, they say leaders don't just take charge; they take care of those in their charge. And Naim, he's an epitome of that. You just mentioned you're making it easy for people getting into the hospitality industry. You've been in the hospitality industry for 30 years. What has changed?
Oh, a lot has changed, Avinash, and I think sadly, the IT world, if I may, technology has made humans in general, and I'm generalizing, a little bit on the lazy side. Our industry, hospitality generally, is on your feet. It's
Hard
long
work,
hours.
hard work.
It is hard work. You're typically on your feet. You're dealing with individuals, and not everybody's always happy. So it's one of those industries where you have to be very patient and very tolerant and very culturally aware of behavior and needs and demands. My take on this is now I'm seeing the industry as a lifestyle sector, because again the reason that I say this, Avinash, is I'm a strong believer that hospitality is general,
Mm.
entails lifestyle, entails luxury, entails travel, entails fashion, of course, the food and beverage cycle, the wellness cycle, and
Mm.
last but not least, you're an ambassador. No matter which
Sure.
brand you actually are working for, you become an ambassador of that particular brand, reflecting and representing the DNA of such an organization. So my wish today in my career, and I'm getting on the tail end of my career, because I like to retire early, not because I'm old, is to make sure that we educate individuals that the industry is incredible, and it's not about a job, it's about a career. Equally as important, we have a massive task to do with the parents, because the gatekeepers, as I call them, the parents, when you speak to the parents about their kids entering the sector, they see it as a service industry sector, which is
Mm.
incorrect. So we have to make sure we educate, work along with individuals, their parents, and the communities in order to make sure that we enlighten them on the benefits of such a vast industry that will put people on the global travel platform, as well as could be very rewarding and very enriching to the soul.
This is beautiful. What you're talking about is rebranding, repositioning an entire industry. That's great. What a
It, it,
thought. What a
it's
thought. Yeah, go ahead.
it's actually beautification of the industry, and I think fundamentally it's really just highlighting the positives of the industry, because it has been tarnished in its previous decades with hard work and with the service component, rather than all the other benefits that you actually gained out of the industry.
What is your take, Naim, on um this whole thing about the generations? You have now Gen Z. Before that, you had the millennials. Uh, People say that they're more about instant, getting everything instant gratification. Would that factor of the laziness that you attributed to possibly getting quick money faster in maybe the IT sector or other sectors also be attributed to the way people are today, or what's your take on that?
Yeah, look, I see all of these generations, and I call them the future. No matter where you are, they happen to be the future. So we need to make sure we ourselves are connected to the future, because they actually don't know any different. We have seen different
Sure, sure,
cycles of life.
sure.
So the onus is really on our shoulders to make sure that we stay relevant and we understand where they're coming from. Sadly, what they know is what we had actually taught them. It's
Brilliant.
our challenge. And again, I allude back to my earlier point, Avinash, of technology. I think technology is so advanced today that these guys have everything at their fingertips. I remember when I
Yeah.
was doing my masters, I had to go to multiple libraries and read books. Today, these young individuals, or the future, as I
The
refer to,
phone.
it's all done on a screen somewhere. Could be in the bathroom, with all due respect. Could be on the dining table. Could be over someone's house. So life has changed. You're 100% right. But I think the onus is really on ourselves to make sure that we stay relevant and we shift the industry to make sure that it stays relevant. Meaning hours, meaning weekends, meaning shifts, flexibility, pay scale, all of these things, that's really what matters. Nobody actually hates the industry. They hate the industry limitations, and that we should be amending.
Sure. Is there a difference in your approach in handling the people within the organization, keeping all of these things in mind? Have you, since you're saying we need to take responsibility, we created them, they are our future, but now we're taking care of them. So if we're taking care of them, is there something special that you do? Because with the pandemic, with the stress levels, see, the stress levels, even though things seem to have become easier for them, connectivity has increased, but connectedness has gone down. Ease has increased, but disease has gone up. Huh? So, how does your leadership style adapt to suit this high stress levels of and loneliness of youngsters these days?
Sure, very good question, Avinash. My take on this is very simple. Previously, before I started Gates in 2010, so when I set out to do my strategy document, which is 4 pages, by the way, it's not a large document by sheer design, was to have the DNA very well spelled out. And I have 4 key pillars that I count on all the time. One is innovate, staying relevant. 2, belong. We all want to belong to some communities, some brands. 3, enrich. So there's an educational perspective. And last but not least, it's the engagement factor. So these 4 brand pillars that I put in place, if you analyze them,
enrich, engage, innovate,
belong,
and stay and relevant. Is that correct?
belong,
And belong.
yes.
Got it.
So
Lovely.
these are the four brand pillars: enrich, belong, engage, innovate. And if you look at them all, we commercially don't make any reference to any commercial entities or any commercial subjects, and that's by design, because I genuinely believe if you focus on these 4 brand pillars, any business is actually solid business as long as you have the background, the experience, and the depth. And when I've also set out these pillars, it wasn't merely designed for the consumers. It was designed for the people who will make the consumers' experience a delight. So all of my team members today, I have over 715 people on the payroll today. So these individuals practice those 4 brand pillars, and in every meeting of mine, in every town hall, as we call them, of ours, when we're talking publicly into the brand ambassadors, as I call them, or local heroes, as a matter of fact, we talk about these brand pillars. I always refer to these brand pillars because I'm doing 2 things. One is I'm jolting the memories of our discussions. 2 is I'm enforcing brand pillars. So when they are talking to you as a consumer, as a guest, as a hotel service user, you're very well aware that we are humans serving humans and connected at a personal level.
You know what you're doing is amazing from even a psychological perspective. You are actually contributing to their mental health. Not only that, when they become happy, they are transmitting and transferring this happiness to the customers, and the numbers have to come. The business has to come. It's the values first. The business. It's like walking in the direction of the sun, the shadow follows. If you turn your direction away from the sun, try to catch the shadow, you never get it. Most businesses have it the other way around. Naim, I'm so impressed. I'm so impressed. Mental health is important.
Thank you. But mental health, and for those who know me and or follow me on social, I'm an ambassador. I'm a great advocate of mental health, not because it's a trendy topic that's going on. It's like the sustainability thing. For me, these are fundamentals. And again, back to the brand pillars. If people are content, if people know where they belong, the entity they belong, the community they belong into, and have that rapport of opening up, communicating, respecting one another, then it's a lot harder not to perform, because all of a sudden you become a pillar of those entities. You're not just an employee, you're a pillar. And if the pillar is not solid, you're putting pressure on other pillars, your colleagues. So mental well-being for me, Look, the way I practice it, and with my little engagement, over engagement, whatever it is, it's by being natural. It's by approaching people as I'm human, you're human. If we need to have a serious talk, there is an office, there is a door. We close that door and we'll have our discussion in a professional and respectful manner. But day to day, it's we're colleagues. All of these individuals that are working under the Gates banner today are the ones who actually execute a service and deliver on the brand promise, not me. I'm the one, I'm in other places trying to drum up other businesses, whereas these individuals are flying the flag and delivering on the brand promise.
So you're creating leaders at every level, huh?
It's very rewarding. I'm fortunate. I travel quite extensively through work and through my own desires, I guess. And rest assured, Avinash, that there aren't many hotels that I would walk into without being recognized or without someone coming up saying, "Do you remember we worked together? And if it wasn't for your leadership, your support, I wouldn't be where I am today." And that's sometimes it's quite rewarding. Some other times it's like, okay, I'm here for holidays. Give me some space. But it's indeed more than rewarding, and truly the industry is actually, despite the globe size, the industry is very small.
Sure. Couple of things, Naim, just for fun. I'm going to throw out some questions that you just to understand the way you think. There's a lot that's already come out. I'll sum it all up soon, as much as I can. Hard work, success. What's the correlation? Just quick questions, quick answers.
Smart work, success.
Amazing.
Rather than hard work.
Yeah. Okay. You want to say another sentence for it? Go ahead. You want to say something else?
Honestly, I can elaborate. I think it's about smart work, and smart words as well. Because if you're trained to execute your work through words, then you are tackling, delivering, and being on point.
Super. Passion and duty. What's the connection? Youngsters these days, we say, no, we want to follow our passion. Huh? But then we say, no, you work hard today. When you're working hard, you may have to do things you're not really passionate about at that moment. Huh? You may have to do things you don't like to do to get to where you need to get. Or you got to do just what you love. What's your take on that?
I think what's very important is to remind the future, as I call them, that you as an individual change as the life cycle evolves. So what's important today in my life doesn't necessarily mean it's important tomorrow. So you need to identify the big picture and walk towards that direction, work towards that aim, and make sure you stay focused. At the end of the day, Avinash, also what I encourage people to do is don't become a slave for life. Live life, take charge, and make sure that you're contributing to your families, your communities, and yourself. Otherwise, my motto in life is live life. And by living life, you're actually partaking. You're doing stuff. You're engaging, and you're experiencing it. So you're not just turning up to a job, to uni, and going back home, but you are contributing and benefiting.
Okay. Naim, I think I lost you for a little while in between, so we'll have to reshoot that. We'll edit this part out. You were talking about enjoying life.
Yeah. So my own motto is live life, and by living, you're actually enjoying, you're contributing, and you're actually benefiting from what we do rather than existing. I think it's a fine line between existing and living. I keep saying to everybody, don't be a passenger on the bus. Take charge of the bus and drive the bus. And if you can't drive the bus, be a co-conductor.
Lovely. See, if I have to put all of these things together, Naim, I get a few R's that come to my mind. I don't know if you're familiar, but in India, we just won a movie in the Oscar that won an Oscar for a song. It's called RRR. Huh? But for Naim, for some reason, I get several R's coming to my mind. You'll have to help me with this, please. I'm not expecting you to get up and do the dance here and something like Indian movie style, but R would be for reinvent. You're literally reinventing the industry, because I've been associated with the hospitality industry for a while, with the Ministry of Tourism in India, and I've seen the industry from the inside. Hospitals these days look like they're hotels. Huh? You have airlines, all of these are trying to, in some way, be more like hotels. So it's time that the hospitality industry itself move to the next level, which is lifestyle, reinventing. What a powerful idea. If just this one idea is taken up, it could transform many things, including the desire for people to want to be part of it. Second one that comes to mind, second R, is uh, relevant, uh, staying relevant to the times and changing as things change, not sitting back and wondering what to do or being stuck. The third R that comes to mind is responsibility. What a powerful sense of responsibility you display. I'm looking at the common threads through everything you've been talking about now. Responsibility, because of the Australian thing connection, the fact that you are reached a level of leadership, you have to give back this contribution. You're looking at taking care of the people with you. You're looking at taking care of people in the industry. What an awesome message, responsibility from you, Naim. And the last R is what you spoke about just now, is don't become a slave just to your work. Also enjoy life and rejoice. Because when you rejoice, this positive energy will keep you going and keep others going too. And it has to spread. These are the 4 R's that come to my mind. How do you like that?
I like it. I like it. Look, in a way, they summarize my approach to life, and it's I like the way we keep things simple as well. For me, it's always give examples to everything. So when I'm dealing with large groups of people, I'm always trying to give examples so everybody digests and comprehends the subject matter that I'm trying to put across the table.
Sure. So that's the 5th R. The 5th R is relate. Okay? A lot of what you do is about relationship. I loved what you said about it's not enough just to do hard work or smart work. It has to be also smart words. It has to be beautiful. What lines. Viewers, if you get this, you got a lot. Trust me. Okay? It was lovely spending time with you, Naim. What do you do to rejoice sometimes? What do you do to take time off and have fun or rejoice or have a good time?
Avinash, I practice my own motto of living life. And
what are some of your toys? What are some of the things that see? These are my toys,
I can see those, and I'm glad I was free.
I pick one up from every country I go to.
Amazing. For me, it's motor vehicles. I love my cars, and I think they are.
They're slightly bigger than this, yeah.
Yes, they are. I'm afraid I can't carry them with my fingers.
Wow. You have a collection?
I have a few. Yes, I do. I like my cars. I also I collect wines as well from around the world. I'm one of those avid wine lovers, because I think, again, every bottle, the same as every motor vehicle, the amount of details that they have in each of those is phenomenal. And my admiration to such things that we take simply, be it pulling the cork off a wine bottle or driving a vehicle. I think 80% of the population would actually take that for granted. We just jump in the car and it happens, or we pull the cork off a bottle of wine and we drink it. The amount of efforts that goes into every single bottle to produce a quality beverage is phenomenal, and that we should not underestimate. On a closing note, Avinash, my time in Japan, I was fortunate enough to have lived in Japan for 5 years. Had made me appreciate simple facts that a lot of people take for granted. And I'll give you an example to keep it relevant as well. It's in the month of April, with the cherry blossom season. You have a lot of our Japanese colleagues, and I eventually partook in those events. They host celebrations under these amazing, beautifully flowered trees, and they celebrate them. A lot of us today, what we do is we probably do a selfie as a best, rather than celebrating nature. So I think again, it's being aware of what we have access to. It's appreciating what we have at our fingertips and putting all of that to good use.
Brilliant. Naim, in our in Sanskrit, there is a saying Vasudeva Kutumbakam. Vasudeva Kutumbakam, which means the world is one family. That if you respect everything and every creature, living or non-living, and you expand your sense of I, not just to me, but to all those who are around me, to the entire world. When something is mine, I care for it. If the tree is mine, if the world is mine, if my family is mine, I care for it. So we care more, we celebrate more, and when we feel something is mine. See, what a powerful thing you just said. The last thing that comes to my mind right now, for now, is you spoke of celebrating. I think if you truly celebrate, you are a celebrity. And I'm happy to be speaking to a celebrity whose name is Naim.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Just for the audience awareness, Naim, actually, it's a Turkish word and an Arabic word, and it means paradise. On that note, happy to conclude.
Beautiful, beautiful. Are you Turkish?
Lebanese descent.
Okay. So I cannot say teşekkür ederim. I have to say shukran.
Shukran is Turkish. Shukran is Arabic, yes.
Shukran. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.